From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Tuesday, March 6th, Wilmington may pay to keep some city schools open. A new poll asks whether you're a good driver. And a new boys basketball state champion is crowned. Here are the details. The city of Wilmington may give $500,000 out of its $22 million surplus to the Christina School District to keep a school open. WDEL's Ken Grant has details.
Theo Gregory called for the public hearing where Christina School District Superintendent Dr. Lillian Lowry explained plans to close Albert Palmer Elementary School in the coming school year and two other schools in the city during the 08-09 school year. More than 100 members of the public showed up to voice their opposition to the proposed closings.
I just want to know, when do we start taking responsibility for the education of all, and I emphasize all, children attending the schools in Christina School District?
We are very upset with what is going to happen. We work very hard with the student population that we do have. Pulaski last year, out of all of the city schools, had the highest DSTP scores. Isn't that saying something about the teachers and what we're doing there?
My opinion is, give us back our buildings, give us back our children, and let us attend schools where apparently they do have some fiscal responsibility.
During the meeting, City Councilman Michael Brown suggested a stopgap measure to keep Albert Palmer Elementary School open for at least one more year.
I will ask council to consider to do an ordinance to get $500,000 to recommend that it comes to the district. And then, Ms. Superintendent, will you consider holding up a year?
Absolutely.
Gregory said Brown's proposal is scheduled to come before City Council in early April. Ken Grant, 11:50 a.m., WDEL.
There's a grassroots move to gain support for embryonic stem cell research in Delaware. WDEL's Peter MacArthur has that story.
Stem Cell Go is a group of community leaders and people who say the research could help them and their families. They say embryonic stem cells, currently classified as medical waste, could be helping Delawareans with spinal cord injuries, juvenile diabetes, and Lou Gehrig's disease, areas where adult stem cells have been ineffective. Dr. Bernice Schachter suffers from multiple sclerosis.
We have chronic diseases, and we can't wait for adult stem cells to be tried and maybe to fail. We have an urgent need now for a cure.
Senate Bill 5 is sponsored by Republican Representative Deborah Hudson and Democratic Senator Patty Blevins. It would provide for regulatory oversight of stem cell research in Delaware. I'm Peter MacArthur, 11:50 a.m. WDEL.
Jurors in the trial of a man accused of killing a University of Delaware student will begin deliberating this morning. Attorneys made their closing arguments yesterday in the trial of James Cook. The jury will determine whether Cook is guilty or guilty but mentally ill in the rape and murder of 20-year-old Lindsay Bonestall. Prosecutors insist the Cook was not mentally ill at the time of the crimes. Defense attorneys say he was, even though Cook denies it. Cook was not present for closing arguments. He was banished from the courtroom because of several outbursts. A large turnout for Middletown's Election Day. The results coming up as WDEL News continues in a moment.
Looking to gain an edge in the technology or design field? Wilmington College's Division of Information Technology and Advanced Communications offers state-of-the-art facilities equipped with the latest tools. Achieve balance, achieve success.
In Middletown, voters have given a thumbs up to longtime Mayor Ken Branner. He easily won a 10th term in office yesterday, outdistancing 3 opponents. Branner garnered 2/3 of the votes in a turnout that doubled previous elections. It was the first time in 18 years that Branner had an opponent. Politics in Middletown got controversial in the past year concerning the balance between growth and traffic congestion and an employee loan program that was investigated by the state. 2 council members, Jason Faulkner and Catherine Kelly, also won their seats back as well. State police aren't sure what caused a 3-car accident yesterday morning, which left a Brandywine Hunter man in critical condition. Troopers say 22-year-old Michael Sheehy lost control of his car on Route 141 near the DuPont Experimental Station Monday morning. The car hit a guardrail, then crossed into oncoming traffic, hitting a car. A 3rd car then crashed into the scene. Sheehy was cut out of his car by rescue workers, then airlifted to Christiana Hospital with head and internal injuries. The 2nd driver, Margaret Strine of Hockessin, is also being treated for internal injuries. The 3rd driver wasn't hurt. Route 141 was closed for 4 hours for cleanup and a police investigation. The Delaware Army National Guard has 2 new tools in its arsenal to help members do their jobs protecting you. WDEL's Carl Konevsky reports.
They're brand spanking new, fresh from the factory, and cost $12 million apiece. They're 2 UHL-60 Blackhawk helicopters similar to this one, acquired in 2003, which Major General Frank Vavala, Adjutant General of the Delaware National Guard, says will better allow the Guard to achieve its dual mission.
These modern aircraft will improve, no, they'll greatly improve the capability of our National Guard to serve the citizens of Delaware during emergency, be it natural or man-made.
Captain William White, who flew the Guard's first UHL-60 Blackhawk in Iraq in 2004, says it's a unique experience.
It's a very smooth aircraft, very fast, powerful. It's a great aircraft to fly, a lot of fun to fly. You're flying a 3,000 horsepower aircraft at 140 to 150 knots. In times of combat, you're flying it relatively low to the ground, so it's a fun ride.
In Iraq, the Blackhawks are used primarily as troop-carrying aircraft. In Delaware, they can be used in times of natural disaster for search and rescue missions and to carry and deliver troops and supplies. The 2 units mark the first time the Delaware Guard has received brand new aircraft since 1974. Reporting from Newcastle, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Do you think you are a good driver? 61% of Delawareans questioned in the Fairleigh Dickinson University's latest Public Mind poll say they're above average drivers. 35% say they're average, just 1% say they're below average. And men were more likely than women in the poll to say they were above average. 618 Delawareans were randomly selected for the telephone poll. Almost 3/4 say they support making it more difficult for teens to get a driver's license. And 57% say speed limits should be strictly enforced. So who are the worst drivers? New Jersey, according to 45% of respondents to the poll. Pennsylvania was second with 27%, Maryland just 9%, and 4% said the worst drivers were from Delaware. Chris Carl, 1150 AM, WDEL. It's the year of the Vikings in Delaware sports. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast just ahead.
You could spend your money at the gas pump, or you could spend it on those sexy pumps at your favorite store. Let DART do the driving. Travel smart. Choose DART.
In WDEL Sports, one day after St. Elizabeth's Lady Vikings won the girls' state basketball championship, Christiana's Vikings won the boys' title. WDEL's Sean Green has the highlights.
Christiana High School's cheerleaders hoping to cheer their Vikings to victory over Sanford in the state title game. Sanford would jump out early, though. Here's Aziz Elagood hitting a 3 from the top of the key. He finished with 16 points. And the Warriors led 5-2. Moments later, though, Christiana takes the lead. Here's Derek Archie with the 3 from the right side. The Vikings led 9-5 after the first quarter. Second quarter, Christiana takes control. A popular play. Tim Steed behind the ear. He'd find Paul Reynolds for the layup and the foul. Lead quickly up to 7. Moments later, Christiana loses control of the basketball, but ends up in the hands of Aaron Meads for the layup, and the lead hits double figures. Back to that behind-the-ear play, Tim Steed again ends up with the basketball and does the same thing right to Paul Reynolds again. He'd hit the layup, and it's 28-13 Christiana at the half. Second half, Tim Steed again with the basketball, but this time he hits a one-footed, 16-foot leaner, and the lead was up to 17. Moments later, Derek Archie hits another three-pointer. His second of the ball game. He finished with 8 points, and the lead continued to grow. Sanford would make a run. Here's Aaron Collins picking up the loose ball. He'd spin through the lane and hit the 3-foot hook shot. He finished with 11, and the lead was down to 11. But in the end, it was too much Christiana. Mike McCleary hits this 3 on the right side, and finally, the Vikings rouse up the crowd. Here's the alley-oop. Tim Steed on the receiving end with the authoritative jam. And Christiana wins 67-41, their first ever state boys basketball title. Reporting from Newark, I'm Sean Green, 1150 AM, WDEL Sports.
And Kansas City Royals Hall of Famer George Brett will make an appearance in Wilmington this summer. The Royals Vice President of Baseball Operations will come to Frawley Stadium August 21st. And the first 1,000 fans at the game that night will receive a George Brett bobblehead. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast: sunny to partly cloudy and very windy today, a high 28, but wind chills in the single digits. Tonight, increasing clouds, low 14. Tomorrow, cloudy with snow starting around morning drive, 1 to 3 inches expected, with a high reaching 30. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM WDEL, or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.